What if I told you that one simple question could change the way you spend money for the rest of your life? Not a complicated budgeting system, not an expensive financial course, not a spreadsheet with 47 different categories. Just one question. And the strange thing is, you probably already know the answer. Here is the question. What am I giving up by spending this money? Think about that for a moment. You see a new phone. You want it. You can afford the monthly payment. So you buy it. But the real question isn't, can I afford this? The better question is, what else could this money do for me? Because every time you spend money, you're not just buying something. You're giving up the opportunity to use that money somewhere else. Maybe for an emergency fund. Maybe for an investment. Maybe for your education. Maybe for starting a business. Maybe for paying off debt. Or maybe simply for buying yourself more financial freedom in the future. And once you start seeing money this way, your spending decisions begin to change. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this one question can transform the way you spend, save, and build wealth. And stay until the end, because I'm going to give you a simple 10-second spending test you can use before making almost any purchase. Rule 1: money is more than money. Here's something most people never learn about money. Money represents choices. When you receive $100 or whatever amount you earn, you don't just receive money. You receive options. That money could become food, entertainment, clothing, a phone, a vacation, savings, an investment, a business, debt repayment, or an emergency fund. The money itself doesn't tell you what to do. You decide, and that's why spending isn't simply about buying things. It's about choosing between different futures. Opportunity cost simply means, when you choose one thing, you give up another thing you could have chosen. And this applies to every purchase. You don't notice it because the thing you give up usually doesn't arrive with a receipt. If you spend 500 Ghanaian cedis on something unnecessary, you don't receive a notification saying, "Congratulations. You just gave up 500 Ghanaian cedis that could have been saved." But that's exactly what happened. And this is why the question, what am I giving up by spending this money, is so powerful. Because it forces you to see the invisible cost of your decisions. Rule 2, can I afford it? Is not enough. Ask yourself, what am I giving up by buying it? Most people stop at question 1, and that's where things can go wrong. Let's say you earn 5,000 Ghanaian cedis a month. You see a phone costing 4,000 Ghanaian cedis. You technically have enough money, so you think, I can afford it. But can you really? After buying the phone, what happens to your savings? What happens if your car breaks down? What happens if you lose your income for a month? What happens if an unexpected family expense appears? The purchase might be affordable according to your bank balance, but expensive according to your financial goals. That's an important distinction, because being able to pay for something doesn't automatically mean it's a good financial decision. You can afford a purchase and still regret it. You can also buy something expensive and feel completely satisfied with the decision. The goal isn't to eliminate spending. The goal is to spend intentionally. For example, imagine you have been saving for months to buy a laptop that you need for your work. You finally have enough. You buy it. That's spending. But it's also an investment in your ability to work and earn. Now compare that with buying something simply because you saw it on social media. Both purchases take money, but they serve completely different purposes. That's why the question matters. What am I giving up by spending this money? If the answer is, I'm giving up something that matters more to me, maybe don't buy it. But if the answer is, I'm giving up a small amount of money to get something genuinely valuable to me, then maybe the purchase makes sense. The question doesn't make the decision for you. It makes you think before you decide. Rule 3, the emotional spending trap. Now let's talk about one of the biggest reasons people spend money they didn't plan to spend. Emotion. You have a bad day. You feel stressed. You feel bored. You feel insecure. You see someone online living a lifestyle you want, and suddenly you want to buy something, not because you need it, but because you're trying to change how you feel. This is emotional spending. And the problem isn't necessarily the purchase itself. The problem is that you're using money to solve an emotional problem. Imagine you have a difficult day at work. You open your favorite shopping app. You see a pair of shoes. You think, why not? I deserve this. You buy them. For a few minutes, you feel excited. Then the excitement disappears. and you're left with the shoes and less money. The next time this happens, pause. Don't immediately ask, do I want this? Ask, what am I really trying to get from this purchase? Maybe you're looking for comfort, maybe recognition, maybe excitement, maybe you simply need a break. And sometimes the best solution isn't spending 500 Ghanaian cedis. Maybe it's taking a walk, calling a friend, watching a movie, getting some rest, or simply waiting 24 hours. Because here's something powerful. You don't have to obey every financial impulse you experience. An impulse is a feeling. It is not an instruction. Rule 4, the 24-hour rule. Here's a simple strategy you can start using today. It's called the 24-hour rule. Whenever you want to buy something that isn't essential, wait 24 hours. Don't add it to your cart and immediately pay. Don't make the purchase because it's on sale. Don't tell yourself, it's only available today. Just wait. Why? Because many purchases are driven by emotion, and emotions change. Something that feels extremely important at 2 p.m. may feel completely unnecessary the next morning. And here's the interesting part. You may discover one of 3 things. Number 1, you still want it. Fine. You can reconsider the purchase. Number 2, you forgot about it. That tells you it probably wasn't important. Or number 3, you realize you'd rather use the money for something else. And that's exactly what we're trying to create. Not a life where you never spend. A life where your money goes toward things you actually value. Rule 5. The question changes with your goals. Here's where this gets even more powerful. The question changes depending on your goals. Suppose your goal is to build an emergency fund. Every unnecessary purchase has a different meaning. You're not simply spending 100 Ghanaian cedis. You're potentially moving your emergency fund further away. Suppose your goal is to start business. That 1,000 Ghanaian cedis purchase could represent 1,000 Ghanaian cedis less available for equipment, 1,000 Ghanaian cedis less available for marketing, 1,000 Ghanaian cedis less available for working capital. Suppose your goal is investing. That money could potentially have a future role in your investment portfolio. Now, this doesn't mean you should never spend money. That's not realistic. And it's not healthy either. You work hard. You should be able to enjoy some of your money. But there is a difference between spending money intentionally and spending money automatically. If you decide, I've saved, invested, paid my obligations, and I have money specifically set aside for entertainment, then spending that money can be completely reasonable. The problem happens when today's desires constantly steal from tomorrow's goals. And that's why your spending should have a purpose. Rule 6, the future me test. Visual, present-day version of a person looking at their future self. Here's another way to use the question. Imagine your future self standing in front of you. Maybe it's you 5 years from now. That person has your current financial decisions written all over their life. They ask, why did you spend this money? What would you say? I needed it. Or, I wanted it. Or, I was trying to impress people. Or, I was bored. Or, I didn't even think about it. Now imagine a different purchase. You saved that money. You invested it. You used it to learn something. You used it to build an emergency fund. You used it to start something. Your future self asks, why did you keep this money? And you can say, because I wanted to give you more options. That's the real goal of financial discipline, not deprivation. Options. The ability to say, I don't have to take the worst job because I'm desperate. I can handle an unexpected expense. I can take advantage of an opportunity. I can invest. I can start something. I can help my family without destroying my finances. Money gives you options. And every intentional financial decision can help you create more of them. The 10-second spending test. Now let's make this practical. Before you make a non-essential purchase, ask yourself these 5 questions. Question 1. Do I actually need this? Not do I want it? Do I need it? Question 2. If I don't buy today, what happens? If the answer is nothing, you probably have time to think. Question 3. What am I giving up by spending this money? This is the most important question. What alternative use could this money have? Question 4. Will I still value this purchase in 6 months? Because some purchases create excitement today, but regret tomorrow. Question 5. Does this purchase move me closer to the life I want? or further away from it? That question is powerful because your financial goals aren't just numbers. They represent the life you want. If you're trying to become debt-free, does this purchase help? If you're building savings, does it help? If you're investing, does it help? If you're trying to start a business, does it help? Sometimes the answer will be yes. Sometimes the answer will be no. And sometimes it simply doesn't matter. And that's okay too. You don't need every purchase to be an investment. You just need to make sure your spending reflects your priorities. So the next time you're about to spend money, pause, take 10 seconds, and ask yourself, what am I giving up by spending this money? Because money is never just about what you buy. It's also about what you could have done instead. That 50 Ghanaian cedis, that 500 Ghanaian cedis, that $20, that $200. One purchase probably won't change your financial life, but thousands of small decisions over the next 5 or 10 years, those can. And remember, building wealth doesn't always begin with earning more. Sometimes, it begins with becoming more intentional about the money you already have. You don't need to become someone who never spends. You need to become someone who knows why they're spending. So before your next purchase, ask the question, can I afford this? What am I giving up by spending this? And if the answer is worth it, spend the money without guilt. But if the answer makes you realize that your money has a better job to do, keep it. Because every cedi, dollar, or pound you control is a vote for the future you're trying to build. Spend with intention. Save with purpose. Invest for the future. And most importantly, make your money serve your goals, not your impulses. If this video changed the way you think about spending, subscribe to the channel because we're building a smarter relationship with money, one decision at a time.